Well, hey, good afternoon, my sweet Kit Kats. How is everybody today? We have made it to another midweek. I cannot believe how fast the days go, guys. If you're seeing that red light button, you're live with me right here in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. It's pretty nice out again today, about 40 degrees. We will take it. If you're able to join me, please say hello. I would love to welcome you in, and let's continue on with our project from yesterday. So how is everybody doing today? What is your day like? Have you had a good week? Tell me all the things. Tell me something good. I would love to hear it. And if you're able to join me, come on in and say hello. If you're watching on replay, thank you so much for being here. Just put hashtag replay down in your comments for me. Hi, sweet Donna Sue. Nice to see you. I see you guys popping on. Hey, Stacy. How are you, darling? Hi, my beautiful Giselle, sweet lady. I hope you're doing a little bit better today. Hey, Kimberly. Hi, Carrie. Nice to see you guys. I'm still drinking coffee. Anyone else? Hi, Charlotte. So good to see you also. Hi, Joanne. Thank you for popping on. Hey, sweet Kim. How's your day going today? Good afternoon, sweet Denise. So nice to see you. Thank you, Charlotte, for the sprinkle. Guys, as soon as I hit that button yesterday to end the live, I realized we didn't pull for Happy Mail. My deepest apologies. Hi, sweet Tina. Hey, beautiful Michelle. Thank you, Denise. I appreciate the sprinkles so very much. I'm going to try my hardest to remember today. I'm so sorry about that. Hi, Alexandria. So nice to have you. Hey, sweet Bridget. Nice in South Louisiana. Good. I'm so glad. Hey, sweet Sheila. It's about 40 here. It's a little cloudy today. Hey, sweet Rachel. Nice to see you. Thank you, Alexandria. It was sunny earlier. It looks like through Friday we are supposed to have decent temperatures and then kind of going back down to normal winter temps. So I can't really complain. We'll take the 40s and 50s any day. For those of us in Wisconsin, that's like a heat wave, right? You're drinking coffee all the time. I can't help myself. Hi, Charlotte. Nice to see you. So I pulled out a different mug today. This was kind of fun. Thank you, Stacy, for the sprinkle. I think I got this as a birthday gift. People know I love me some coffee mugs, so I got quite a few of them for my birthday last year. So we are going to continue on with that beautiful box that we started yesterday with that gorgeous Reba Rose Creations paper. It's called Lady Valentine, although I don't think that this is just for Valentine's. The SKU number on it is 1465 in case you need it. Hey, Kelby. Excuse me. Thank you, Charlotte. Isn't that so fun? And I love when the inside is a different color. All the things, you know, all the little details. I love that kind of stuff. The sun is shining there, Denise. I'm so glad, hon. It was earlier here, and I checked the temp, and it was like 41, and I thought, okay, even if we don't have sun, I'll take that any day. So, guys, I am so sorry about the Happy Meal. We will try so hard today to remember. I always have the note right here in front of me, but I think I just get caught up in the moment. So yesterday I did a few more things on the box, and we're going to have some fun today with this. And I made a couple decisions, but we have a couple more to make together. So I hope that you'll weigh in on your suggestions. I love to know them. And let me show you what I did. So I did finish making a whole bunch of beautiful Formflex pieces. I thought we were going to really just gob them on. And I decided I don't think we need to. I don't think that I have to go overboard on it. I want to show you some things that happen to me too. I make mistakes. I do things that I don't like, and what we can kind of do to fix them. It's always just a trial and error for me, you know? I can't wait. I was so sad that I missed it, Kim, and she did send me a picture of what she made. It's absolutely beautiful. I might have to purchase that. So I'll have to go back and watch the replay. Stick the note to my forehead. I know, it's right here, or I should stick it to my shirt, because then you can, remind me. Thank you, Denise. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. So it's there. Okay, so let me see if there was anything else we had to talk about. The Formflex castings. Hi, Teresa. I have so many things on my table. Hi, Barbara Ann. Nice to see you. Oh, I definitely can't wait to go back. Okay. So I was going to do a bunch of these kind of chunky ones. These all come from the Felicity IOD mold. And I decided I don't need these. I'm going to put them away in my sealed container that has a lid on it in between pieces of parchment paper. And then I can pull them out and use them whenever I so choose, right? So I had also made this one. This is just from I think this is a Temu mold. I use this one so often. Thank you, Barbara Ann. Hi, sweet Phyllis. How are you, hun? Thank you guys so much for joining me. It always seems like my lighting is a little bit off. And then a whole bunch of different roses and different thick flowers, you know, so beautiful and 3D. Mid-70s, that sounds great. Carrie, I wish I was there with you, hun, having some coffee. These are beautiful, but I decided everything that's kind of going on with her is very delicate and kind of dainty, if you will. And so I don't want anything, I guess, that is too chunky. And these just seem a little too chunky for me. So I'll show you what I came up with. So I unmolded these last night. I'm glad to have you, Phyllis, hun. And because these are a little bit thicker, it takes a little bit longer for these to kind of, I don't want to say dry up. Hi, Regine, nice to see you. Because there is, you know, they kind of dry from the inside out. So I can feel it's still pretty soft. It's definitely okay at this point now to paint these. I just always am a little bit more careful. And if you've ever used Formflex, you kind of get probably what I mean when I say that. When you take them out, they are just super fragile. As they sit a little bit, they start to kind of firm up some. That's a good way to say it. And then after 12 to 24 hours, I'm okay with painting them. If I don't need them, then I can store them away in a container in between layers of parchment with a lid on it just to seal the container. And they're gonna stay nice and pliable. And also the longer pieces like this one, for example, is nice and flexible. I can just feel it's still fairly soft here. Oh, Barbara Ann, that's happy, good. Hi, Karen Jean, how are you, hun? And when I say set up, I guess I mean they just get a little bit more firm. Hi, Mary Jane, and a little bit easier for me to work with. Now I know that I can paint these and do what I want with them or put them away and pull them out when I need them. Nope, you don't have to paint them at all. Now they can just go right into my little container. Good to go, paint them when you take them out, and they will stay flexible indefinitely, which is fantastic. So yesterday we put on mulberry paper on the sides and back of our box here, and we did kind of that pink and then like an off-white look, I would say. I was just not loving how it was coming together, so instead I used a metallic rose paint from Pentart. Guys, I'm so sorry, everything's going to be backwards today. I can't flip it when I am in the business suite for whatever reason. At least I don't, oh, maybe I can, hold on, I could. Okay, good. Now you'll be able to read it. So I took a little like dabber like this, and I just went all over wherever we put that mulberry paper to give it all, just all a really nice, pretty metallic pink. But I love that we have that texture from the paper underneath there. It kind of helps with the vision of what I had going on. I just wasn't loving what I was seeing. And as far as adding some of the other pieces of rice paper, we had looked at a couple other Reba Rose papers and found some that had those similar little flowers on it. So for example, up top here, that's what I did. And I didn't love it. I do not love that at all, where there's just kind of that change in the colors right there in the middle. So we are going to use a smaller little piece like this, and we're gonna put that right over. Thank you, Karen Jean. Right over where that is. And then we'll just have a fun little embellishment at the top. We are gonna put some glaze on here. Thank you, Phyllis. You like it better too? Yeah, it just wasn't calling out to me, but definitely still fantastic to do a, hi Carla, thank you, to do a paint choice over that I thought matched a little bit better. I had initially been using this ballet slipper from Waverly, and I didn't like it. It was a little bit too matte for me, and the color was a little bit off. Hi, my beautiful Lynn. I hope you're doing okay. Thank you, Sheila. Then I thought about doing Vera at the Ballet from Paint Couture. It was a little bit too light in my opinion, so I put that back. And I did come in with a little graphite metallic. And what else did I use yesterday? A little bit of Oyster Pearl from Paint Couture. This is beautiful if you kind of want that shimmer. And I did a little bit of blending just on the bottom here where we had some of that white. Same thing along the sides. Oops, just tried to age it a little bit. Same thing on the top, kind of all the way around. And it doesn't, in this particular case, for me anyway, have to be perfect because I want it to look a little bit aged and beat up, right? So we're gonna come in with the molds that I chose in just a little bit here, and we're gonna add black chiffon glaze from Paint Couture into these pieces. I've already painted them with a angelic paint from Paint Couture. Thank you, Kim. Thanks, Carrie. Just to give them a little bit of a soft white before we add that glaze, and it's gonna sink down into all those nooks and crannies that we love. And then I have just a couple other little trim pieces that we'll do a little something with, and hopefully you will like it. We are actually going to just antique wax a little bit around the edges of the box so that it kind of all ties together, if that makes any sense at all. But I decided that I wanted to fine line crackle this. Hi, sweet Cheryl. And then I am gonna resin, I think, the top of this, just to try it and see what happens, right? So first things first, our fine line crackle, if you're not familiar with it, it's a two-step system that comes from Pentart. So you can get this at my link for TH Decor that's in, it's at the top of my page pinned, or you can type in !THDECOR. Hi, beautiful Jennifer. How are you, hun? So happy to see you, sweetheart. So it's a 2-component system. It'll tell you in the little orange box, component 1 or 2, and it also has it marked on the top. I'm doing another fine line crackle here, so if I'm not able to save all of my videos, that we have one that's kind of recent. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate that sprinkle. Mascara box I got from Michelle. Pretty pieces. Oh, good. So fun to watch him work. Isn't that sweet? I love that. I didn't come there recently, sweet Jennifer, but I was there the first couple months after I met Greg. He took me there. And I picked up a couple shirts. I had such a good time. It was my second time there. Okay, so on the sides and the front, I already did step 1. Hi, Suzanne. And what I did is just, I painted this on with a clean, soft brush. You want it to be dry. Fine line crackle does not like any moisture, no water-based products whatsoever, and that goes right down to your brushes. You don't want them to be damp or anything like that. So I put that all the way on the top and the sides and the ends. I did a little bit of heating with my heat tool. So the component number 1 goes on kind of like an Elmer's glue look. And when it starts drying, that'll disappear. So I just kind of get it started. You like that? Just a little bit with my heat tool, and then I set it in front of my fan to do the rest of the drying for several hours. That's just my preference. So we're gonna come back together and do step 2. I've already done it on just the edges, but we'll do it on the main part here together so you can see kind of that process and what I do. And so this one is a little, they're both super sticky substances. This one smells really good. To me, it smells like butterscotch. But again, we want a clean and dry brush to put this on. If you were to, let's say, use a baby wipe on here that has water and moisture, it's going to gum up your fine line crackle, and we definitely don't want that. So always clean, dry brushes, a different one for each component. And then we're gonna come in when it does the crackle, and we're gonna put some beautiful wax paste colors into the cracks so that they kind of stand out a little bit more. Once we're done with that, we have to seal that crackle then with a solvent-based sealer. And the reason we have to do that is step 2 actually crackles step 1. And it's kind of a reaction that goes on between the 2 components. So by sealing it with a solvent-based sealer, it cannot be water-based, it stops that process and protects our crackle. Hopefully that makes sense. Then for your brushes, they get kind of gooey, right? So I use a little scrubby soap, And you can actually get this on my link to all paint products. So if you need that, just go to my Linktree, !Linktree, LINKTREE. I am not seeing any comments, guys, so I hope that they're still popping through here. Otherwise, I will boot up my tablet. This smells really good. It has that little scrubby on the top of it. And so if you get your water good and hot, you just start kind of smushing your brush around in that scrubby until you get a little bit of a lather. And then I take my fingers and kind of work it a little bit. It works really great. There they are. Hi, Jennifer. To get kind of those gooey substances out of your brushes. So let's go ahead and do step 2 together here. Thank you so much for the sprinkle. So you just want to put on like a nice even layer. You don't want so much to the point that it's like dripping down, you know, because there's such a glob of it. Just a nice even coat. Now when this dries, it also stays pretty glossy. So when I first started using it, I was like, is it dry, for the love of God, you know? Okay, good, Kim. I was like, oh no, don't tell me. But you just have to check it here and there. And I usually kind of test it with like the back of my hand or my finger, see if it's dry. It probably will be. It's just gonna remain glossy like that. So if you're not a glossy person, I seal it with a glossy solvent base. I like that look. But once you do that and that dries really, really well, if you would prefer matte, then you can come back over it with a matte sealer if you like, once you're done with kind of the solvent based. And if you feel that your brush starts having what I call like a little drag, meaning you're kind of getting out of product and it kind of skids across your paper or your project, you just need to add a little bit more to your brush then, if that helps or makes sense. I try not to go back and forth. I do one brush stroke so that you're not removing what you just put down. And sometimes when I do bigger pieces, it gets to be a little hard to remember, or say I'm doing a bottle, like, did I do it there? I don't remember if I hit that spot or not. If you look at it in the light, you'll be able to see the gloss where you did put it and where you didn't. And what I do then is, if for whatever reason, it happens to me all the time, I miss a spot, I will try to come in there just very light-handed with my brush. And if I don't catch it and there's a little spot that I miss after it's dry and I don't get any crackle there, or maybe very little, I'm okay with that actually, because not everything is going to age or crack or wear at the very same rate as the next, you know? So if there's a little something missing, that's okay. So for the purposes of the live, we'll dry this together so that we can see the crackle and do all the things. If I wasn't live, I would do the same thing. Hey, sweet Judy. I would just start this off with a little bit of heat. If you're doing a bottle, for example, and you have a little bit too much product, all of a sudden you might see a little drip. If you gently go in there with a brush and kind of try to, you know, soften it a little bit or take a little bit of that away, it can sometimes work. Otherwise, I just go with it. And what it is what it is, right? So I would start off the drying process just a little bit, and then just the same as my first component, I would set it in front of my fan for 15, 20 minutes, whatever, then come back and put a little bit more heat on it, because the fluctuation in temperature will give you more cracks. Hi, Roxanne. If you're gonna dry it completely with a heat tool, you just wanna keep your heat tool moving. You did, Kimberly, that's fantastic. Isn't it fun? It is so addicting, let me tell you. And even then, let's say, once I set it in front of my fan, came back, gave it a little heat with my heat tool, I might set it aside again and several hours come back to it and hit it with even a little bit more heat. It's kind of a process, but I think it's perfectly worth it to take a little bit of time. So just remember that step 2, Crackles Step 1. So you can put this on anything, really. It doesn't have to necessarily be over rice paper or paint. It can be completely on just a raw wooden surface if you so chose. You're not crackling what's underneath it. It's the two components that are crackling each other. What did you do it on, Kimberly Hun? So Pentart, who makes the fine line crackle, they recommend that you let the steps dry on their own completely. That is how you're going to get the best result. But I myself find adding a little bit of heat here and there is definitely beneficial. Hey, Connie, I hope you are also, especially the ones with crackle, because really, and it got your picture. Oh, I'm so sorry, Stacy Hun. That is such a good tip. You know, something that you probably wouldn't even think of, right? Ugh, I would have been so sad, and I'm sad for you, hon. So also know that that second component, it's pretty thick, so it can take a little bit as far as dry time goes. That's why I did the sides, just so we could focus on the main area here today. And I see beautiful crackle already on the sides. Use it on a decoupage tray and coaster set. That's awesome, Kimberly. I'm glad you told me, hon. Thank you, Connie. I appreciate that so very much. I'm glad that you guys could be with me for a while today. So bear with me on the drying. Sometimes I actually hear the crackle happening, and that's pretty fun. It's very satisfying, I'll tell you. And then as we're kind of drying here, let's see what else we can talk about. Remember when I showed you this resin piece, and as we unmolded it from that beautiful IOD vintage brooch molds, it was a little bit soft and we could form it on our jar like this. Phyllis, I'm here to help if you need anything at all or you have questions, okay? Hi, Jess. And I used that co-band to wrap around it so that it would stay formed to our glass. Well, I took the co-band off and it actually stuck right on there. Now it's not gonna stay. I will take this off just like that and apply my tight bond on there. Hi, Eva. Or my heavy body gel, but you can see how it formed to our surface. Yes, definitely, it's so much fun to do. So when you pull your resin and it's still a little bit soft, that is the time to kind of form it around something if you want to, and then put that co-band or that vet tape around it to hold it on just until the resin dries. Now this is formed exactly as I need it, and I can glue it on easily. So much fun. It's amazing how you can kind of manipulate that. It's called Co-Band, C-O-B-A-N-D. I do believe it is in my Amazon on my link tree. This is what it looks like. Grab one, hold on. This kind of stuff, and it sticks to itself like so. You can get a ton of them, very reasonable on Amazon. And then I just wrapped it around there. This is kind of, they've goodness gracious, used this before on me, like when I have to give blood or whatever, and it's not stopping after they're done, then they wrap it on there kind of tight. It sticks on itself. It doesn't pull your paint away like a painter's tape usually does for me. It works fantastic. I roll it back up and just keep using it until, you know, it kind of gets to the point of no return, and then start a new roll. I love it. I have seen it in like the pharmacy area, the first aid area at stores, but I find that it's cheaper on Amazon actually. So that was really cool. I wanted to show you that. Talked about the scrubby soap. Okay, tomorrow I am on at 1:30 here. Oh, good, Lynn, hun. That's a tough thing. Recovery is hard. You know, it's like the surgery is the easy part. You just got to go to sleep, right? Pressure. When mom got an iron infusion, she wore this home. Yes, exactly, for pressure on it. The tape pulls off your skin, right, Jess? I know. I love that stuff. You've seen it at Dollar Tree, Kimberly. That's fantastic. I have not seen it there. So bear with me, guys. I'm seeing the crackle now. And I know it's a bit of a process. I have it to use on animals. Yes, Phyllis. So I know like our Fleet Farm has it because they have a bigger section for animals at Tractor Supply. I will have to check there. We have one of those too, sweet Giselle. I never even thought to check. Yeah, surgery part is like, okay, you know, go to sleep, and when you wake up, then is when the hard stuff comes, right? I have a question about food coloring Mod Podge bottle. If you want to put rice paper on the bottle, would you do it before the color Mod Podge? Yes, I think that I would, if you have a certain part that you want to put rice paper on, I would maybe do that area and have like prime it a little bit first if it's like a glass bottle, and paint it white so that whatever you're putting for rice paper or napkin, you know, still pops. And then I would do your colored Mod Podge around it. That's just me. With the Band-Aids and medical supplies. Yes, that is correct. So you just want to keep your heat tool going. You don't want to scorch any of your product. You don't want to have it like super, super close and concentrate on one area for too long. You just kind of keep it going. So then in the light, I can really, really see that I'm getting some nice crackle. Now I have a little bit of clammy hands. They're not so bad today, but I like to try to check my dryness with the back of my hand just in case, so I'm not putting any moisture on it. That's for certain. I'm so glad, Lynn. I wish I was there with you. I could take care of you, make you some soup. We could chat. All the things, right? Take a nap, whatever you want to do. Hey, sweet Linda, how are you, dear? All right, so then after this part, we're going to come in with a couple different wax pastes. These are all from Pentart. Thank you, Kimberly. I have an antique paste in Umbra. This looks a lot darker in the canister than it actually is. If I use the blue tape, usually the tape put in a towel a few times to fuzz it so it's not too sticky. That's a good idea, Barbara Ann, actually, and I've never tried that. But the stuff they say is not gonna stick or pull your paint always does, you know? Hey, Pamela, you were at the dentist. Oh, I hope everything's okay, sweetie. Doesn't a nap sound good? I was a dental assistant for a bit in life, and I know how you feel. I think that's why I wanted to do it, because I had some bad experiences, and I wanted to show people that there are some kind people out there, you know? Then I have a white gold wax paste. So on some of those edges where it's super dark, if we put that umbra wax, it's not gonna show up. So I want something a little lighter, and or just a white. We'll kind of play around and see if we like it or not. So you can use a paste, you can use pigment powders, mica powders to fill in the cracks, whatever you prefer. I do both, and I like them both just for, you know, different reasons. All right, let me get a little bit more down here. I can usually kind of tip it and see where I'm going on the crackle if I need to hit a little bit more with the heat. And then if I'm not satisfied and I want even more, that's when I set it in front of my fan for a little bit. And so maybe we'll do that here for a second while we're using the glaze on our molds, and then we'll come back to it, add a little bit more heat and see what we got. Put our wax paste in, we'll seal it. I'll show you how I'm gonna apply the molds. We're gonna do a little bit of dark wax, just a little bit. I know it sounds crazy on that pink, but I did a little area, and I kind of think I like how it looks. We are gonna make a little Keli-Kat bundle to hang off of this. I think we can tie it right around this top little piece that I found to go on it. It just had the little like jute rope coming out of the top two little holes. I found that little piece that fits perfectly, so I was real excited about it. All right, so that is good. Let me set this in front of my fan for a second here so we can get a little bit more. And then if you have that cool temperature on it and then come back with heat, that change in temperature will make it crackle too. So let me just reach over, turn my fan on. Okay. So let's do our black chiffon. So these are the pieces that we're going to end up using. This one I already kind of curved because I was playing with it a little bit. And then 2 pieces like this. Now this one was the mold that I tell you guys always gives me an issue. Hi, Gail. So like right here, it's super thin. And I apparently didn't fill it enough right there, and there's a pretty good chance it's gonna break off when we're doing this. It's perfectly okay. It is so easy to kind of piece it back together. Nobody will be none the wiser. So I am gonna put some gloves on because anytime you're glazing, it gets a little bit messy, right? Hi, Mickey, how are you? But I find it to be so worth it. I wanted to use the Van Dyke Brown, but in that rice paper, it really is like it's almost, yeah, like a graphite black almost, you know? So I decided to go with this one. Hey, sweet Kath, how are you? And all we're gonna do is brush this on and then wipe it back with just a damp baby wipe, paper towel, whatever you prefer. And so we're just gonna keep these 4 little pieces of trim. I'll show you how I'm gonna put those on. This little small one that's gonna go at the top. Put you down a little bit. Hey, sweet Tammy. How are you, darling? Then I think one of my questions was whether we should do pearls around the outside of the box. And I have just a strip out here, and we can kind of decide on that. So this is the black chiffon. It's from Paint Couture, which you can find at my All Paint Products link in my link tree, or it's pinned to the top of my page. So it looks super intimidating, right? You're like, first time I saw some people doing this, I was like, oh my gosh. But when I saw what it looks like after you wipe it back, just beautiful. So I use kind of a ratchet brush. One that I don't mind is gonna have the bristles kind of splayed out a little bit because I really tap it down into all that little detail, right? And then make sure you get your edges. Anything to me where I don't have to do like fine painting is better for me. I'm not a fine painter. I'm not very good at it, like all the little details, you know? Thank you, Gail. I appreciate the sprinkle. I did forget yesterday at the end of our live, again, as soon as I hit that button, I was like, ugh, I didn't do Happy Mail. It's almost like the thought is happening at the same time my finger's going up there, right? So here's what it looks like ahead of time. You're sick. Oh, hon. I'm so sorry, Tammy. With the flu or the junk that's going around, a cold, is it almost over? Can you see the light? Hey, sweet Trish. Okay. And so it is sinking down in there. Show you as we go what it's kind of looking like. We're just taking off kind of that excess and wiping it back a little bit. Thank you, sweet Trish. So you do however much or little you like. I just kind of go with it until I love it. So if there's a little bit too much down in those details, you can kind of push your baby wipe down in there to just get a little bit more of that. Thank you, Pamela. Hi, Marianne. Nice to see you. It does me too every time I use it, Kath. And I struggle because I always want to reach for that Van Dyke Brown glaze. It is so beautiful on absolutely anything, right? But I was really taking a close look at that rice paper on the box, and I'm like, gosh, it's super dark in some of those spots and kind of in the shadows, you know? And then I had done some of that graphite, which is pretty much like a black, right? And I was like, I have to do it. So I'm hoping that it comes together. Okay, so then that's what we're left with. I like that. It just adds that depth, doesn't it? Way down in there. So we're gonna do the same thing to these pieces. So what I always say is the longer you leave this sit on, the more is gonna stay behind and not wipe back. So if that's the case and you like a bit of a lighter look and you want to get a fair amount of it off, then I would do it in little sections. Thank you guys for the hearts. I appreciate that. So I will have Miss Henley on Friday this week instead of today. That's why I was able to come live with you guys. And then tomorrow I will be here at 1:30 for a little segment in Craft Around the Clock. So I hope you can join me then. Kim's grandma got sick. I avoided it and her dad got sick. Right, Tammy Hahn. Oh, I hope it goes away real soon. There is so much, you know, so much stuff. I honestly think Hen is getting another cold. Henley, I call her Hen. That little thing, you know, little kids, they just pick up germs. Everything's going in their mouth, you know. They give her vitamins every single day. You were wondering, sweet Carrie? What were you wondering, hon? Oh, why I was live today? Sometimes I forget what I was talking about. So this little trim piece here just came from an Amazon mold. I think that looks so cool. Just ages it up a little bit. Our little flowers, it's like, oh, do I paint them? Do I make them, you know, more of a pink? I hate to put black on roses, but I really like the look of it. I really do. And we will use Tite Bond Quick and Thick to adhere these on. These are all Formflex, but you could use Heavy Body Gel also. I just make sure I get the glossy so that it dries clear in case any kind of seeps out the side. Thank you, Tammy. Hen, yep. Hen or Henny Girl or Henny Spaghetti or Tootsie Roll. She has all kinds of nicknames already. They went out of town with her last weekend on a little road trip, and they've done it with her before, maybe a little over a year ago, I would say, and it's about a 6-hour drive, and she does really, really well. I think it helps that they, you know, my daughter is super prepared with snacks and all the things, and they make some pit stops along the way. Hi, Elizabeth. You know, let her kind of stretch a little bit, get out, walk around some. I hate long car rides, so I am shocked that she does so good. Hi, Diane. I hope Miss Kate don't get it. Right, I hope she doesn't either, hun. Talking about go for it, the black will be gorgeous. Thank you. Thank you, sweet cat. Hi, Araceli, nice to see you. And so you will have little spots, you know, where it is really going to get down in those little areas. And sometimes it can be just a bit much for me. So then I just kind of, you know, get a little area of your baby wipe. Thank you so much, Aracelis. Thank you, Carrie. She is getting so big. My daughter would send me pictures, you know, where they were letting her run a little bit at a restaurant or something like that. And I'm like, look, Sarah, I don't like how fast she is growing. You need to quit it. You tell her to quit it. All right, there's our little roses. So fun. Hang in there, guys. 2 more pieces, and then we'll go back to our crackle. So they say black chiffon, and it is definitely, you know, in the black family, I will say. But to me, when I'm looking at it, like against a neutral kind of background, it's almost like to me, it's a little bit more like a charcoal gray. Okay. These will have to dry nicely before we can adhere them down, but it doesn't take too long. You can use a little bit of heat on there. And I think what we'll do on these is something that our sweet friend Robin had taught me, or that I'm seeing when I'm watching her. way back when already, and I like the look of it. She comes back over and does a little dry brushing in that same neutral color or a farmhouse linen, a white of sorts. You can do that, and it kind of gives it a little bit more depth. I would say wakes up that texture even a little bit more. But you could also come in with a wax paste if you prefer that look too. So an antique paste is going to give you a color that is more antique looking versus a wax paste that is going to be more metallic. Hey, sweet Robin. Oh, how fun. Oh, Robin, that sounds great. I love babies. And like I said, on this piece here, I'm definitely going to, it's going to come apart where I didn't have quite enough Formflex there. Honestly, this is the mold that gives me the most problem no matter what I use. I have an issue with this one, but I love the roses, so I continue to struggle with it. And it would be fine with resin, but many times I want it on, you know, something where I can kind of manipulate it or wrap it around something. So then I come in and try to do my Formflex and all the things, and I usually have a little piece that breaks on me, which is okay. I tell him to stop growing. He's 6 feet tall. Oh, so you have to look up to him, Carrie. Oh, hey, Elizabeth. I'm so happy to have you. Robin, I bet you that was so much fun. Little girls. Not that boys aren't fun, but little girls. Ugh. And she's getting so silly, you know? Just such a goof. So right along after her grandma, right? I'm becoming great grandma of twins. Oh my gosh, Marianne, congratulations. When is that? When is she due? One of each. How wonderful. I had the pleasure of helping to raise several bonus kids in my life, and years ago when my daughter was little, I helped raise my stepson at the time. And he was a challenge, let me tell you. But I was super young also, super paranoid about absolutely everything. And let's see, for 11 years I helped raise him. So I don't really see him much. I see, you know, things when my daughter posts or what have you, or sometimes on Facebook or whatever. And it's heartwarming to me to see that he grew up to be okay, you know? He's great. Okay, I think that is good. So then you just want to cover this back up. You hardly need any. If you're using the wax paste, the Van Dyke Brown, the black chiffon, I have another one that's like an amber honey. You very sparingly use it, so it's going to last you for a super long time. And you can also order just those small, like 1 ounce or 4 ounce sizes. You'll be 70, Marianne. Oh, I'm so excited for you. In September, oh. I had 4 boys, and when we took car trips, yes, exactly. Car games, all the things. She really likes music, so that helps. Hi, Rosie. She loves to do little dances. Hi, Mom. Beautiful Mom, Sharon Hall. I'm sorry if I didn't see you come on. Runs in the family, I do think. Yes, I do. All right. So we're going to let those kind of hang out a little bit. See my sign for Happy Mail. Don't let me forget, guys. Let me grab our little box here. And we're just going to hit it now with just a little bit more heat here, because now it's had this cool air on it, you know. We're going to give it that little bit of warmth, and it should crackle for us even more. I see a lot of beautiful crackle. So then the magic kind of comes in when we put on our wax paste or antique paste or mica powder, pigment powder, all of that. Phyllis, right? You're a young 70. Oh, Marianne, that's good. Phyllis, that's so sweet. I'm so happy to see you on, hon. I don't know if you had a chance, but I did send you a message. I was thinking about you today. Okay. So let's just say, for an example, that you looked at this and said, you know what, there's just not enough crackle. I want more. Put it in front of a fan, come back to it, apply a little bit more heat. You can keep doing that until you're happy with it. It will stop crackling only when you seal it with your solvent-based sealer. But I think this is going to be good. Now, I also use a glove when I do my wax paste because my hands are sweaty. So if I came in here now with a baby wipe, it would get, like you would try to wipe with it and it would just kind of stop and skid in its tracks, you know? And it would gum up wherever you touched it with a water-based product. Not this week, but usually, Marianne. 70 in August. I cannot believe that little Henley girl is going to be 2 in August. That's crazy to me. Hi, Ricky. Welcome in. It's so nice to have you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely very, very cloudy now outside. All right, so let's just go with this. We're going to call it good no matter what. Okay. Sometimes I even struggle to get my gloves on with my sweaty hands, and I forgot I do have my cornstarch I could use. Hey, Wanda. Well, thank you. I really kind of like these ones that are, you know, imperfect in my opinion, because what we do to them to make them look a little bit more aged and antique, it's just helped along, right? By having some areas that aren't quite right. I know, Marianne, same for me. And, you know, a memory will pop up or something like that with her, you know, as just a little tiny, teeny baby. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Doesn't seem like it. I know, Carrie, right? Ugh. All right. On the top, we're going to try this umber. It looks super black, but it's like a dark, dark brown. Hi, Anne. So, excuse me, my gosh. Get a little bit on your finger. We're going to wipe it back once we put it in here. So we're just kind of pushing it in. I do a little circular motion, and you are going to see that crackle just come right to life. Let's see. There, you can see it. So it's just filling in the cracks with that paste to almost, yep, in August, actually, sweet Tammy. It's been a struggle, sweet Wanda. Well, we're so happy to have you. So I just wanted to continue on with kind of the aged look on the crackle. So any place that it's a little bit of a lighter background, we're going to do this color. So I don't know. I think we're going to do a couple pearls up the back of her dress at some point. Turned 6 today. Oh, happy birthday to him. That's wonderful. Oh, is it he or she, hon? I'm sorry. I misread that. And then on the sides where we have that kind of darker area, we'll try the white gold or the white and just see what we like. You could use more than one color if you want. You need that paper. So this is from Reba Rose, sweet lady. I think it's beautiful too. It is SKU number 1465 and it is called Lady Valentine. I think I had gotten it to do for Valentine's, didn't get around to it. Hi, Ellen, nice to see you. And when I was looking at this box and trying to find just the perfect paper, I was like, she can be for more than Valentine's, right? So we're gonna do any parts on the side here. These I already did yesterday, so we wouldn't have to dry for even longer, right? Kinsley Grace, how beautiful, Denise. Greg's great niece is Kinsley. How fun is that? I love that name, it's so pretty. All right, so don't be, you know, don't be too scared the first time that you do a wax paste, because this all gets wiped back with a dry cloth. Nothing wet, nothing damp. It wasn't that long ago I was doing a little fine line crackle. And I had a little paper towel sitting next to me. And I thought it was a dry one, but I must have just, you know, like got the excess off of my paintbrush water or something. Aw, Tammy, hun. Was it, did I ask you this already? Was it, is it like respiratory or tummy stuff? And so I grabbed that paper towel to wipe back my excess. And the second it touched my project, I was like, oh boy. I must have got water on it somehow. Thankfully, I felt it right away and it was okay. It was just such a small spot. Isn't that crazy, Wanda? She does have beautiful papers. Ugh, the time flies. And if there's a spot that you notice where you're like, you know what, I think I want a little bit more there, that's okay. Just add a little more. Hi, Catherine. They had early release from school. I remember those days. Gosh, you know what? I don't ever remember having any kind of early release when we were kids. Do you guys? So it looks like, wow, you really have a ton on here. And in some cases you might. If you find that it's just not gliding on for you nicely, you can always heat that area just a little bit so your wax paste spreads easier. It works quite nicely. Let me see here. All right, so in some of those areas, it's not showing up as nicely as I'd like just because it's darker. So we're gonna come and hit that with a little bit of that white gold. But look at that crackle. We rode dinosaurs, right, Denise? Our bus trips were what seemed like forever long, you know? I think that is so pretty. So that's just more of an antique look with that umber paste, umber colored paste. All right, let me wipe my finger here. That's so funny. Starting in your chest, aw. Thank you, Carla. Well, Tammy, I'm glad that you chose to spend a little of your day with me. So I also think that even if we want to do, you know, a little rustic, it can be a little bit glamorous too. Thank you, Robin. So let's just try like up top here. Yes, in that dark rice paper. I'm gonna try to hold that up and get the right view so you can see the white gold is showing up a lot better. Hope you can see that okay. There we go. And some of that's going to be covered, of course, by our mold. I'm going to go on the side here. Much, much better. So I try to pick a wax that is lighter than the paper. And I even crackled the little metal pieces on here. So you can do it on anything. So I'm gonna hit those also. Oh, that's so pretty. Fine line is amazing, I love it. Never had days off from school. I definitely feel like kids now get way more days off, or maybe I just don't recall. I don't know. So I could stand to like a little bit more crackle on the side, but I'm gonna just go with it. Well, thanks, Alexandria, hun. So don't be afraid to do more than one color. If you have some, you know, subtle changes in the background, it might make a big difference for you. And kind of however it stays in those cracks is how I feel like it should. So maybe right there, a little bit more of it is being left behind. Thanks, Tammy. That's okay. Just go with it, right? Don't question it, just go with it. They do get days off for everything. I agree. Yeah, so like right there, I see a ton of the crackle, but our paste is just not showing up a whole lot. So I like trying different things than we ever did. Same girl. I'm gonna try a little bit of white there. And sometimes it might be the, you know, the strangest of wax paste that you're like, wow, that shows up beautifully. I love it. And then wipe it back a little bit, see if you like what you're seeing. I still don't really see it. So when all else fails, I love my gold wax paste. Thank you, Kim. And maybe we just try a little bit there. Just like if you're trying to, that's better, purposely make something look like patina or rusty. It definitely doesn't happen all at the same time. You're gonna have different color, chemical reactions and stuff like that from rain, from say a metal piece, you know. So I think it's perfectly okay to do more than one. And then we're gonna do a little bit of the gold on the edges here. The wax paste, if you haven't tried them, are, I mean, they would be, say, similar to what your Rub and Buff would be. I find Rub and Buff to be a little bit more gritty than this. These are super soft and they spread nicely. And like I was saying before, if you have any issue with it kind of spreading, where it just feels like it's, how do I want to explain it? A little dry maybe underneath your fingers, then just add a little bit of heat and then come back in and rub it in again and it should move around really nice for you. All right, so I think we're getting there. I like the varying colors. I think that looks nice. So we definitely see it there. She's kind of the star of the show. You can see it on the sides. Maybe not quite as much, but it is there. I have to go back and look and see what you said. Okay, so let's recover these. So the white does show up on certain colors beautifully. It's gorgeous on like a navy blue or a red. I love it. Put those away. Okay. Wipe my hands just a little bit. Thank you, Linda. Let's see. Students nowadays are much different, isn't it? Could you even imagine being a teacher now? No way. I never had, right, Jess? Professional Learning Day for the teachers. Okay. Well, I'm so glad Catherine is with you. They even cancel schools way before it even snows. Isn't that the case? My gosh. Thank you, Charlotte, hun. We used to stand out. We lived out in the country when I was in high school and just be praying for them to call off schools, you know? And more often than not, they probably should have and didn't. And it would take even longer, you know, to get there, and then everything was jacked up and your schedule was crazy and all the things then, right? Do you think I can just resin over that without putting Mod Podge on top before you resin? I mean, I would definitely seal it. If it were me, Barbara Ann, it won't hurt. Not now, no way, I don't blame you one bit. So I have a little antique wax, Behr wax, B-E-H-R. This comes from Home Depot. And I thought, let's just kind of see if I think we need this at all. So here's just a little area that I did, just a little bit we're gonna do on the edges and the corners, just to kind of tie it all together. And they'd say we had no heat. Really, Jess? That's crazy. No heat. I'm gonna use a little paper towel. So I'm just using a little stencil brush, we'll say, and picking some up and then kind of wiping a little bit of it off on my paper towel. We just wanna like grunge those edges. So right in here on that box, just gonna wipe some of it back then. Like the wood is kind of going in right there. That's the stuff I mean about like having the piece be imperfect, right? I do too, Diane, and I don't use it near enough. I think I just forget. But the look that it gives is satisfying, and it's like immediate gratification, even on a pretty metallic pink. So that's where I'm like, aged, but still pretty and a little bit rustic, you know, I like it. So on the little hardware on here, remember I couldn't get them off. I tried my best. I just kind of added, you know, different colors along the way here. Some of that graphite, some of that chocolate decor metal matte, just to kind of grunge them up and have them blend in a little bit. That's okay, my sweet Tammy, you rest, hun. Instead of coming in and painting them in any kind of a metal color. Same thing on the front here, on that clasp. So why not hit it also? Just where I think it would naturally kind of rust up or age itself, right? Thank you, Doris. Hi, hun. Your daughter's a teacher, Ann. Oh, what grade? Bless her. Okay, let's flip it over. So I would say I did 2 good coats of that metallic rose over all that mulberry paper, just to kind of get the coverage I was going for. Just doing the edges here. Any other color like ink oxides that you wanted to come in here with, you could do that too instead of an antique wax. Thank you, Doris. And I definitely want to keep, you know, my sweaty hands off the top of the box until we can seal this, which we'll do here shortly. So it's just grunging it up a little bit. Thank you, Joanne. What did I miss? Good question. Do you prefer mulberry paper over rice paper? I'm so sorry I don't see who typed that in there. Thank you, Donna Sue. I guess it depends. 6, oh my goodness. It depends on the project. I would say at first, you know, like not even thinking about it, I will say rice paper. But then mulberry paper, I really want to try to be able to print on it, because I think many do, and I see their projects and they're beautiful. I just haven't been able to get it to work in my printer. I also like the mulberry paper when I'm doing a project with napkins. We're going to do that tomorrow. And you had no help. Ugh, that makes it so hard. It's kind of what's left on my brush here. So you can see that okay. There we go. Just that little bit of grunge look. You did, Alexandria. Okay, I'm so sorry. I do like the rice paper probably better. I do like to rip up the mulberry paper and put that on a bottle and then put a napkin over it. That's kind of a coordinating color or pattern. And when you do that and put lights in those type of bottles, it's beautiful. So then I kind of grab for my mulberry paper. But I will have to say my addiction is probably the rice paper. All right, I'm keeping my gloves on. So here's what my thought is till I can seal that. So we are going to put this piece on like so. And then we're gonna trim these 2 little pieces and we're gonna have them on either side of it, kind of like a little scallop. Thank you, Kim. Yes, I like it. So let's do that part. And these shouldn't take too long to adhere on because we have a nice flat surface. So let me just kind of measure here. Ish. Doesn't have to be perfect. I think that's pretty good. So our little tight bond quick and thick here. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Alexandria Hun. I think mulberry might be better for rounded projects. You know, there is a way to get your rice paper on around a curved surface. I think, yeah, I mean, I can see why you say that for sure. But I have tried it when I remember to do it. Now I have to take this off and reline it up. I'm just using my finger to put our little tight bond quick and thick on the back here. Less is more. And remember, when you push down, some might come out the sides. You can whisk it away, or if you miss it, it's gonna dry nice and clear for you. You do a little rippage. So right where you see that it's, you know, that it's gonna want to kind of almost like buckle on you, you can rip your paper a little bit right there and it'll lie down for you a little bit nicer. So I'm just gonna push on this a little bit. And then we are gonna come in and dry brush just a little bit of that. I think we'll do the Farmhouse Linen by Paint Couture right over the top of this, just with a dry brush, a little bit of paint on there. All right, let's see where I want this. And all we have to do, I might have to touch up the edges on this one a little bit. So take your little X-Acto tool. Make sure that's what I want. And it goes right through it like butter. Ooh, that's perfect. I'm on a hunt for thinner paper. So I like the Reba Rose blank paper, hun. It is beautiful. She gets her paper now from Italy. It's different than what she used way back. And I love the thickness of it. So we'll put this here, and you could come in and do, say, you know, a little pearl or something. I have some of those pulled, but they're not necessary, I don't think. So I can see a little bit of my glue kind of coming out there. Just come in with, I kind of just touch my water with it and then squeeze out the excess. And you can whisk that away. I'm gonna hold that for a second. So if you order blank rice paper from Reba Rose, if you go to my website that's in the description today, and in the search engine, just type blank, it will come up with blank rice paper. You get 5 in each, you know, so if you order 2, you're gonna get 10 pieces. And then you can see I am manipulating that Formflex to go where I want it. Now here, if you didn't want to kind of wait for this part, is where you could come in with that co-band, wrap it around there. I hold my Formflex piece while I'm putting it on so it doesn't move, and so that I can kind of pull it tight. And then let that sit for a little bit, and you know, you're golden. All right, we might have to piece a couple together. Where do I want this one? Ish. Doesn't have to be exact, right? Come in with your little tool. You can even cut this with the scissors if you want. And then if you have a little bit of a rough edge on here, Wanda, the center one is, I'll show it to you. And then the outer one is just a, you know, one of those real inexpensive ones from Amazon. So let me see. Let me see if I have. I thought I did. This is a Prima mold for the flowers. I don't know where I have the little case that goes with it. I might have already put it away. And then the other one with the little trim piece in it is this one right here. And this is from Amazon, actually. I love it. They work great. I'm gonna get me some of that bear wax. I love the wax. It is so nice. And it lasts forever. Right, Tammy? Ugh, hon, I'm sorry. But you can file your Formflex. So you just have to be kind of gentle is all. Just kind of see where I want that. Looks good. I found the Type On Quick and Thick at Menards not that long ago, and it was the cheapest of anywhere I've ever seen it. But it's at most hardware stores, you know, your Home Depots, Lowe's, things like that. And I think I used to use a lot more of it than what I really needed. So when I started backing off on that a little bit and not using so much, I found way less, kind of squeezed out the sides, right? And it stuck a lot faster. You're so welcome, Wanda, hun. Otherwise, it tends to kind of slide around on you a little bit also, because there's just way too much underneath there, you know? I appreciate you guys hanging in with me. Thank you so much. So we'll probably just do the one side today. I'll finish the other side, but we are gonna seal this. We'll make our bundle together, and then we're gonna pull for Happy Mail. I'm trying to keep it on the forefront of my mind here. And I will seal the castings and all the pink as well. I'll probably use, I have some Dixie Belle here in front of me that I will use to seal. That just happens to be what's close by in satin. Hey, Pamela. So you could round the edges on your trim pieces if you didn't want them to be quite so, you know, such a harsh edge. But wherever they meet, then I just kind of put my finger on each casting and push them together a little bit. Clear bear wax is great for making homemade rub and buff. I know Sweet Tammy makes that. It's so cool that you do that. You're very resourceful. Thank you, Marianne. So I'm just kind of pushing those pieces together so that I don't have any space in between the two. But honest to goodness, if you do, it's okay. It's totally okay. A little bit of glue there. All right, those seem pretty good. And I should have plenty to do the other side. So kind of show you there, just something a little bit different. I was gonna do some, thank you, Regine. I was gonna do some stenciling on here. Thank you, Eva, for being here. I appreciate it so much. And I thought, you know what? We have plenty going on with this beautiful paper. I don't think we need to do it. It would just be a little bit too much, in my opinion. So Farmhouse Linen, this is from Paint Couture also. Just a nice soft white. So is Angelic. So I'm gonna come in with, oh, let's see here. Just a tiny little brush. Just pick up a little bit on my brush and then offload some of it right there. Oh, Donna Sue, I can't wait to see. Thanks, Carrie. You have made so many colors. That's fantastic. And then just kind of hold your brush at a, you know, at a flat and come and hit the raised portions of your castings there. You will notice it right away. I don't know if you'll be able to see it here as good as I can, of course, right, on the live. I like to start off with less, and then if I see, oh, I think I want a little bit more, it just brightens it up a little bit, takes it from dull to wow. Couple little leaf areas there that just have to be held down a little bit. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Teresa. I will hold this up and show you. Not that they're not beautiful as they were, but I do very much like this look. And then you could always come back in with a smaller little stencil brush, and maybe you want to age it up around your stencil with that same antique wax, or I'm sorry, around your mold, just so that it all kind of looks like it was meant to be that way. You could definitely try that. So I don't know if you can really tell, but you can just see just a soft white on them. Well, thank you so much, Connie. I appreciate that so much. I'm going to do the same thing on that side. So that will be super fun. Thank you, Marianne. Me too. Well done, Sue. Thank you so much. I remember, Tammy, when you first made Rub and Buff. So if you want to add anything else to your paper after Fine Line Crackle, maybe you want to put rhinestones, maybe you want to do little pearls. We are going to add a little strip of pink pearls at the end, right up the back of her dress, and they'll kind of stop right where the bodice stops between that and the dress, or rhinestones or stickles or anything like that. Could you see it, Denise? You want to do it after you've done the whole process and sealed it with your solvent-based sealer. Then you can come in and add your glues and all that kind of stuff, because now you've sealed it, that crackle is stopping, and you're good to go. Just make sure it is super dry. And I do think I'm gonna resin this, guys. I might add a couple little loose pearls here and there. I have little white ones, I have a couple silver, a few of the pink, and maybe just here and there we'll add it. I will be doing the dry brushing on here also. Thank you, Suzanne and Cheryl. So I will finish that part up. Okay, so let's seal it together so you can see what I use. There's a couple options. I like the glossy solvent-based. It just has to be solvent-based, which it says right in that little box there. Kept her hankies in. I love that. I love that stuff so much. Or this is a clear varnish. It's glossy as well. It doesn't say solvent based on the front, but on the very back side, it says clear varnish gloss, high gloss, quick drying solvent based. Well, Denise, thank you so much. This one, very, very, very stinky. Hi, sweet Barbara. Oh, that's no problem at all, honey. I understand. I'm so happy you could stop in to say hi. This one does have an odor, to me, not as strong. And then you just give all your crackle and your beautiful wax paste or whatever you use to fill in your crackle. I've even used eyeshadow. I thought about doing this on her because I have like a rosy pink. It works beautiful. If you do metallic, if it's a super pigmented eyeshadow, it works just like it would your pigment powders or anything like that. So for me, as you're kind of gliding over with the glossy varnish, she just like, it's like the last phase of her coming to life. I feel like she could jump right off this box. I think so too, Connie. I do too. I have to get me some flat-backed ones. I don't have any of those other than like that super big roll you get at Hobby Lobby, and they're fine, they're okay, but I would like some that are a little bit smaller. So this part here doesn't matter. You can go back and forth with your brush strokes. You'll definitely feel if you get a little bit of drag when you kind of run out of product, so just put a little bit more on your brush then. And I myself would probably put 2 coats of the sealer on. Hey, Sheila. That's just me. If you're more of a matte girl, after you get the solvent-based varnish on, I can't say S's today, solvent-based, and let that dry really good, then just come in with your matte if that's more what you're going for. So even though she's aged and vintage and beautiful, I think the gloss is gorgeous. That's just my preference. Well, thank you, Sheila, hon. I appreciate that. So I can always feel when I'm running out of running out of the varnish. It just gets to be where like I have to push or pull my brush a little bit more than when you first have it on there. So no problem, just pick up a little more. Nice and glossy and beautiful. Let that dry really good. And then remember, our sweet little handle is gonna go on here. Hey Tiggy, nice to see you. Just a mid-show reminder. Thank you, Barbara, and I need those. Hi, sweet Vicky, thank you so much. If I missed anybody coming on in, thank you so much for joining. All right, so my thought on the handle as well. I mean, it's beautiful as is. This is exactly how I got it, but in kind of keeping with the whole thing, you know, let's just use what's left on our stencil brush of our antique wax. And this will just kind of tone it down a little bit. I love it. It's kind of wore. Oh, hun, that's okay, Giselle. You never have to be sorry. I'm super happy to have you. Hey, sweet Carly, darling. Hi, Diane. Prayers, prayers, prayers to anyone who needs them. Now, there's a lot of people not feeling good. Unique Crafts and Company, I love that. I do too, Alexandria. I have never been a matte person. Diane, we are working on a box that we started yesterday, a little wine box that's been sitting in my garage on my little crafty shelf, primed and ready to go forever. Aw, Tammy, you're so wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. So you can see it just added just a little like grunge to it, you know, just soften that up a little bit from being like super stark, if you will. Okay, so let's see here. Let's do our bundle. We sealed all of that. I'll finish that other side. I'll put the handle on. I'm going to move this away. Isn't that just... It's just enough, in my opinion. I don't really think we need anything else there. I love it. Just a couple different castings can make such a difference to me. All right, then that beautiful handle on there. Ooh, why do things get so exciting to me? You could even, you know, put some kind of embellishments on it. You saw a robin, Mom? No, you did not. No way. My mom and I always have this thing every year, who sees the first robin? Mom, remember what you always told us as kids? So if you wanted a key, this is totally dazzled. Hi, Vicky. You could do a smaller one. Thank you, Vicky, so much. You could hang this from your little bundle. So that's kind of our option. We have a couple options for what we want to put in our bundle as our little piece of something, right? So let's just do that together, and then we will be done for the day. All right, so I have just a wad of things here. I tried to pull a little bit of this and that. Slide that down just a hair. Ooh, I love that. Or you could also put some kind of a little drawer knob on the top of it or on the side where you would open it up. Got back from a nice week of traveling with your daughter and her family. That sounds so nice, Diane. I'm so glad. Okay. My mom says she saw a robin, guys. So I kind of wanted a little mixture of everything. I wanted some of the cream colors, but also I don't mind some beautiful white lace. I think that it just kind of keeps it a little bit lighter looking, and that's your preference if you want a bow or no bow. So some sari silk here, some pieces of fabric that I ripped up, and I don't have a clue where I got them, but I'm so excited. Hi, Lynn. I bought my first fabric scissors yesterday, guys. Who sees the first Hummer? Yes, Phyllis, I love that so much. So all Fisker products yesterday at the Hobby Lobby were 40% off. Oh, that's sliced like butter. And I have been needing a fabric scissors. I've never had one. But then also a couple pretty little pieces of pink with some gold. You better take a pic, Mom. I need proof. I have some soft little pinks, just all different colors. Well, I'm gonna have to look out the backyard. But then I also pulled this one. It's a little bit more of like a beige, I will say. I think it's gorgeous. And I would normally cut this in half because it's a little bit too wide for my preference, but I'm gonna try not to. Those poor things, if we get more snow. I have this little eyelash ribbon, I guess you'll call it. I like that. Then some super thin little pink stuff there. Thanks, Vicki. I think, I don't know if we get good luck or not. I never have any good luck. Hi, Mary Scott. We have dozens and dozens of them all winter. Oh, that's fantastic. I love that. I know some stay back. We just have this thing. I don't know. My mom and I have always, isn't it, Lynn? Oh my God. I've never, like I said, never had the fabric one before. My mom and I have always just had that between each other. Like, who's going to see it first? And usually it's my mom. She'll be like, guess what I saw? I'm like, oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't. I've not won very often. So I'm just kind of alternating some pieces of this here. Some pretty little pinks. I'm running out of all my pinks. So that one I can cut a little bit. I'm running out of my pearls. I used to have some little soft, oh my God, this is so fun. I'm gonna just be going around cutting all kinds of fabric. Some little pink pearls and stuff, I'm out of those too. And or, you know, if I tie this on that handle and I decide I don't like it, it can always just be part of the little setup with her. Laying beside her. That white is so pretty. I would also normally cut that down the middle. I don't like them too wide. I love you, oodles, 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 Tammy. I hope you feel better soon, sweetie. Thank you so much for coming. But I do have these darker little tiny pearls. They're almost like a G metal, I would call them. And sometimes I like that look. All right. We're almost done, guys. Hang in there. I'm gonna need something to tie it off. I'm also running out of sari silk, and guys, I'm gonna need a ton of it to do those hearts for decor at the wedding. So I better get to ordering a little at a time, right? Oh my God. Found a good bunny at Walmart. Oh, that sounds beautiful. I love Toile Mary. I love it. Some of these pieces are so long. If you don't like, you know, the threading that sometimes comes from your sari silk or whatever, you just pull that off. I don't mind it, as long as it's not a big glob of it, right? And I don't think I have to overdo it on this one. It doesn't have to be super thick or anything like that. I still want it to be fitting for our paper. So all different kinds, whatever you have. I find a lot of it when I'm thrifting, actually. Well, thank you, Phyllis. I will tell him. He is traveling every single day for work this week, so he leaves quite a bit earlier. He stops at the shop, picks up the company vehicle, you know, checks his email, does his things, what have you. Then he rides about 40 minutes or so, picks up another guy, and then another hour to where the training is. And then, you know, that goes till who knows what time in the late afternoon. Yes, I love the blue and the red toile so much. And so he's been getting home a little bit later. Okay, one last. Nope, that's got to tie it off. Okay. And we'll cut some of these down a little bit. My favorite use is the crochet ribbon. Ugh. When I can find that kind of stuff, I feel real happy and excited, you know? All right, so as I'm kind of finishing off the bundle, here's our choices for what we put on it. We can either do a little bow, kind of that antique bronze with a little bit of sparkle. Hi, Mary Lou. So that'll be number one. I have this brooch that kind of reminded me of a flower. So that'll be number two. Or we could just hang a key. I don't know, this seems a little bit big to me. but that'll be number 3. So the bow is number 1. Then the little resembling a flower one, we'd pin this one right on there, or a key. Tell me what you guys think. And I'm just gonna tie this off here. Of course, I will post a reel and or a still photo of this when it's all done so you guys can see it a little bit up close. Number one, hi Patricia. Number one, lots of number ones, that could be it. All right, you wanna give this a good tie with whatever you're gonna use to tie off the top part. You could also do, you know, like make this into a little tassel if you prefer that. And then of course I will come in. You like the bow, Sheila likes number 2, Donna likes number 2. Oh boy, number 1. So I'm gonna trim this up a little bit. The flower, hi Jeannie. Can you show me what your project was? Absolutely, Mary, of course. The bow, Pamela says 1, number 2. Oh my gosh, it's a close, ooh, I think it's number 1, guys. So far I see number 1 a lot. Yes, Mary, let me hold it up for you. It's our little Lady Valentine. That's that beautiful rice paper from Reba Rose. My sweet Pauline, darling, how are you? So good to see you. Big or not, you like the key? The key is beautiful too. That's okay, Denise. We are voting on what to put in the little bundle. I'm gonna trim this up so it's either the bow. Robin likes the key too. Like this is kind of reminded me of a flower or a bigger key. Thank you, Vicki. I think all of them are beautiful, but it looked to me like number 1 was gonna kind of take it. Thank you, Regine and Vicki. I'm just gonna do a little trimmage on here. Oh, how nice that is with a nice fabric scissors. What the heck was I waiting for? I just didn't want to spend like 20 some bucks on a scissors, you know? I'm too frugal. All right, I can always finish the trimming off of the camera. Love the key, number 1. I really think it's gonna be the bow. But you could definitely do both. Hi, Darlene. You could do many of them. That's okay, sweet Kim. No worries whatsoever, darling. Yes, me too, Phyllis, me too. So then I just kind of like this to be, you know, a little messy at the top. And, they're all beautiful choices. I like the bow too. Gosh, I don't know what to do. That's funny. I like that, Denise. Aw, Pauline, I'm doing okay. I'm so happy to see you on here, sweetheart. So I will do a little more trimming. Go back and kind of do a count there on what everybody thought. I think any one of them is perfectly wonderful. There's the flower. I'm going to do a little trimming on this. I don't like how that's laying. And I will tie that all on along with our little handle. So that was 1, 2, and 3. I'll do the little pearls on the back of her. I will add this piece on the very top. Use them both. I so good. Hi, Kathy. You're never late, my sweet friend. Just remember, if you're going to watch a replay, they're only available for 30 days, guys. I'm so sorry about that. We could definitely add a key someplace else on here for sure. I'll do a little thinking about that. And then guess what? I remember we're going to draw for some Happy Mail. Hi, sweet Sharon. I think this is coming together beautifully. We've sealed all our fine line crackle. So all the steps that you need for fine line crackle, you can find at THDecor, THDECOR, step 1, step 2, and a solvent-based varnish. We did one side together. I will finish the other side here and seal everything up, attach our bow and our handle, and we should be good to go. So we are drawing today for this cute little set here. Isn't that fun? It reminds me of a, isn't that a Louis Vuitton that has the bottom red? I can't believe I remembered. And I'll throw a couple other fun things in there as well. So I just like to send out a little Happy Mail when I can. I'll probably only be able to get to the post office once a week for Happy Mail, so just keep that in mind. But if we get 50 or more sprinkles on a video, including replays, thank you, Patricia Hun, I'd like to send out a little Happy Mail. And I just scroll through the comments that were made on today's live, pick a name. I always look at the same spot on my phone, wherever that name lands, right there. Thank you, Pamela. Aren't they so darn cute? I just haven't used them, so I'm letting them go to someone else. Thank you, Carol. I probably will do resin on there. I might try that, yes. And then if I pick your name, just send me a message, please, with your address, and I will get that sent out to you on me. Thank you, Kath. Thank you, Pamela. All right, so I'm just going to make sure I see my comments are moving. Sometimes I will remove them all together and don't mean to. And I am going to stop on Denise Hatfield. Denise is the winner chicken dinner. I would love to send you a little something in the mail, my beautiful friend. Is that okay with you? Let me go back down here. I think so too. I don't even remember where I got them. Thank you, Mary Ann, for being here. I appreciate that. Has the red bottom shoes. Oh, okay. My apologies. I love that. Think I could never ever pay what those cost, right? I can't even imagine. You are so welcome, Denise. Thank you, Pauline. So good to see you guys. Thank you so much for being with me today. I can't wait to finish this up and take pictures with you. I think the crackle turned out beautifully. I hope that helps you if you have the product and you want to try it. And or just a little bit of a refresher if you already have used it. If you ever have issues or questions, I will do my best to help you out. Hey, Linda Hun. And I will see you all tomorrow here at 1:30 for Craft Round the Clock. So I look forward to seeing you then. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm so glad, Linda, you're going to love it. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow afternoon, okay? Take good care, guys. Bye.